guys, good morning. It's Almina and welcome back to my channel. It's currently 6:07 and I am dying. I'm hanging on like 5 hours of sleep, but this is all because I'm taking you to pastry school with me today. Classes are starting at 7:30, so it means that I have to be there at 7 and I need to leave my apartment at 6:20. I am actually not okay, but today is going to be very exciting. We have 2 practicals, 1 demo, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Since it's only 1 demo for 2 practicals, we had to watch 1 demo video yesterday. It was like 2 hours long, so I took a bunch of notes. Look at everything that I've written down. All of the recipes that we get are just a list of ingredients with grams, so you have to take notes during demos on like all of the steps, and I write everything down just to make sure that I do everything correctly during practical. Otherwise, like, I don't know, trust myself, I don't know, trust my memory. Look at my handwriting. So small. And the time is now 6:15, so let's go. When choosing my apartment in Paris, I chose a district that I liked in terms of the ambience, safety, and things I could do over a district that was close to my school. So now I have to commute for like 40 minutes. First 40 minutes by metro and like an hour by taxi. Eiffel Tower. I normally don't come to school 30 minutes before class, but I'm team captain this week, so I need to prepare all of the ingredients for the group and be there like 15 minutes early. It is also like pitch black outside. The sunrise is at 8:40 a.m. so in 2 hours. This is my first time doing a voiceover, so I'm probably gonna cringe so hard, but at this point, who cares? YOLO. I entered school and went to the locker room to change into my uniform, and nothing fits in that locker. So annoying. I put on my little scarf, the shirt, and at this point the locker room started to get super crowded, so I had to move to the bathroom and finish filming in there. You gotta tuck the towel and all of the knots under the apron so the chef doesn't see. Shh. I put my hair into a bun and put a hairnet over it. I then put on my little cutie hat, and that's me already in the bathroom. That's so disgusting. I had to wash my camera like 500 times afterwards. And we are now prepared to do some cooking. Can I do it? I'm joking. You'll be famous. Today is a Dacquoise practical, so I traced 2 circles on parchment paper and started whisking icing sugar, almonds, and flour. I then moved on to whisking egg whites, and we have stand mixers in like every single classroom, but they make us whisk everything by hand. I'm so sore. And when your egg whites look like this, you need to sprinkle in your sugar and continue whisking until they reach pretty stiff consistency. I would say medium peak. Should look like this. You then fold in your dry ingredients and be careful not to deflate it too much, or otherwise it's gonna be like super runny. I filled my piping bag with everything. Here I made a bit of a mess, but it's okay, you can always clean that up. And I piped 2 spirals inside of the circles that I traced beforehand. Look at how good I'm getting, the precision, the dedication. I sprinkled some icing sugar on top and sent them to the oven at 180 degrees for 15 minutes.
Moving on to the caramelized almonds, I scaled all of my ingredients, and when sugar and water reached 110 degrees, I sprinkled in all of the almonds and started mixing until they were caramelized.
Like fast.
Fast?
Yeah.
It smells like popcorn.
Yeah. It smells delicious.
Bonjour, chef.
And now for the praline buttercream, I weighed my butter. Look at that amount of butter, that is actually not okay. So I heated it a bit over a water bath. I then adjusted the texture with a whisk and started whisking it vigorously until soft. Afterwards, I scaled the rest of the ingredients, which are sugar, water, glucose, and egg yolks. I then brought my sugar and water to a boil and added glucose. I then waited till it reached 121 degrees, and while whisking, poured it into egg yolks in a very thin stream. I then whisked it vigorously until they were this pale, around the same color as butter. I added all of the butter and whisked it up again, and then I whisked in all of the praline. So much whisking. I was so sore, you cannot imagine. The Dacquoise cakes are out of the oven, so I trimmed them up, took them off parchment paper, filled my pastry bag with buttercream, and started piping more spirals on top because I'm just that good at it. You know, I then smoothed out the sides and coated them with my caramelized almonds. More icing sugar on top because diabetes, and I started piping this little design on top that chef said was a little irregular, but it's okay, no one will notice. Sent her off to the fridge and started making my marzipan rose. I kind of wish it was colored because this cake is turning out to be 50 shades of beige, but it's okay, we love her. I put the rose on top, added 2 leaves, and look at how pretty it was getting. I love it. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I received a very good grade for it as well. No break, and we are headed to a demonstration. This is the classroom, super spacious, very nice. We get binders with all of the recipes that we make notes in. Today's agenda is eclairs, chouquettes, and this puff pastry thing. I did not have the balls to record the chef cook during demo, but stay tuned because the next vlog actually has that part. I made a lot of notes, but out of all of these, we will only need to make the eclairs and the chouquettes. At the end of each demo, we get to sample whatever the chef made, but the size depends on the generosity of the chef. No break, and we are off to the second practical of the day. Gotta put on my full uniform back on again, and we are in a different classroom this time. I traced some lines using my plastic scraper, sifted the flour, and started heating up butter, milk, water, salt, sugar together until they came to a boil. I then put in all the flour, started mixing immediately, and transferred it to a bowl to cool down a bit to around 58 degrees. After that, in many batches, I added the eggs. We don't know the quantity of the eggs. You need to add them until it looks shiny, glossy, ribbony, and then you fill a pastry bag and start piping your eclairs. I was so proud of this one. If something goes wrong, you can always scrape one off, or if chef says that all of your eclairs are trash, you scrape them all off and start over. I used a new method called foiling this time. Before baking, I greased them with fat spray and sent them off to the oven at 160 for 40 minutes. Moving on to the chouquettes, using that same choux batter from Eclairs, I piped little rosettes that were around 3 centimeters in diameter, covered them in sugar nibs, covered them all in sugar nibs, and made sure that it stuck to my little chouquettes by doing this action, whatever you want to call it, and sent them to the oven at 160 for 20 minutes. So now we're making the filling for the eclairs. I scaled milk, egg, sugar, and custard powder. I then whisked the eggs with sugar to blanch them. When my milk came to a boil, I poured some of it into egg yolk, started whisking, then I poured the egg back into milk, started whisking it over heat until it came to a boil, and then I added some chocolate and let it just melt in there. Poured it onto a hollow tray, covered it in plastic wrap, and sent it to a blast chiller. When I took it out, it was so hard and frozen that I had to adjust the texture by whisking it up a little. But look at how shiny, glossy, and amazing. At that point, our chouquettes were out of the oven, so I started inhaling those. I was starving, as well as eclairs, but I couldn't eat them because I had to present them to the chef later. I poked 3 holes on the bottom of each eclair, but you can also poke them on the top if your bottom is less ugly than the top. That's what the chef said. I filled my pastry bag with cream and started piping it inside the eclair, making sure that it was full to the brim. I cleaned up the excess and heated up my fondant to 40 degrees. I started dunking the eclair into the fondant, holding it there for 3 seconds, letting it drip, sliding my finger on top of the eclair, and cleaning up the sides with a clean finger. And there you go, that's an eclair. Of course, gotta choose the prettiest ones to present. I baked 8 and only had to present 6, so that's the finished product. The chef must always try their food, and it's not bad. Chef's only complaint was that I overheated my fondant and my piping on the eclairs was a bit irregular again, so I packed my stuff and left dramatically. Just joking. Went into the locker room to change back into my clothes, and that's it for today.
So I am out of school, and straight from there I decided to go on a little shopping walk. Got some things, nice, and now I am headed to the Catacombs. How very exciting. I'm going to see bones of 6,000 dead Parisians. Honestly, I stand for such a long time, like baking during practicals, that my legs get so swollen I can barely fit into my jeans. My social anxiety on the streets of Paris when I'm walking with the camera is like on point because all of the people are staring. In Hong Kong, nobody cared, but here they just cannot mind their own business. It's like 6 p.m. right now. I am dying. I feel like I'm going to fall apart. I'm just that tired. I really want to sleep. So I decided to walk to the Catacombs. It was like a 35-40 minute walk. I hate myself. I don't know where the hell I am. I've never been to this part of Paris before. It's like very far away from the center. I actually don't know where the hell I am. I'm just walking straight to the Catacombs. Hopefully nothing happens. But if it does, you guys will see all of that. this has got to be the most disturbing experience of my life. I have no words. I'm going home. I'm gonna get myself together and I will tell you guys what I think. Okay guys, I am finally back in the apartment. I took a fat shower because every single time I come from the kitchen I feel absolutely disgusting. Like, I swear my face soaks up all of the grease in the kitchen, like the butter that we're melting, the fat spray, the everything. So I can say that both of the practicals went pretty well for me, even though my camera, this whole action was kind of slowing me down because I was constantly turning it on and off and trying to find the best angle. And it's okay though, that's the problem of me during the final exam. Right now I do not care, I just want to film this perfect little shot and show you guys what my days at pastry school look like, because I feel like it's just so exciting and I want to do it for memories, of course. I did not in fact bring anything that we baked today home. I rarely do, because if I did I would be obese. Sometimes I do not know how to control myself around this stuff, and I would just not want to have like a whole cake sitting in my fridge waiting to be eaten. No thank you very much. So I leave everything in school for the janitors and I hope they enjoy it. I mean, I work really hard on those, but I do not know what they taste like. The Dacquoise cake I would be happy to take home. I feel like it's pretty nice. But when I saw how much butter I put in that cream in the middle is basically straight up butter. Like, no. And the chocolate eclairs, I just don't like chocolate. Even though I did not have breakfast in the morning, then I did not have time for lunch. During both the Dacquoise and the Eclairs practicals, I was just eating up as I was cooking. When the Dacquoise cakes came out of the oven, I just kept snacking on like the excess that I cut out, and the Eclairs as well. I just kept eating the chocolate that we were supposed to melt. But then when the Chouquettes came out, I started eating those. Oh my, that's like horrible. Moving on to the Catacombs. I felt extremely uneasy about it all. Apparently, when all of the cemeteries like closed down and people were scared to catch diseases from all of the dead, they moved every single dead body into the catacombs and they built walls from that. And then at some point they hosted a concert in there. Oh, like you were walking through that and you just see the skulls, the bones, oh my gosh, the remainings of all of the people. And at some point I wanted to take a picture, so I took a few steps back and my back, it touched some bones, like it touched a wall with bones, and I thought I was gonna pass out in there. That was, I actually cannot. This is an experience I 100% recommend all of you try out for yourself. This was unforgettable to say the least. Anyways, thank you so much for sticking along. So exciting. I'm actually so excited to edit all of this and show you guys all of the cooking and how my days in pastry school go by. And alright, I will see you in my next vlog. Thank you once again. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I love you so much. Bye!